Welcome back to Live with Zelda, and I'm your host, Zelda. And we are sponsored by Legacy Realty Group, North Florida. Welcome, everybody. Today, I'm just going to talk just briefly with you about 3 concerns that sellers have in today's market. So let's get started. The first concern that the majority of sellers have is pricing their home. Most people think their home is worth a lot more than it really is, and in today's market, it's very easy to go overboard. So you want to price your house right from the very beginning so that you don't have hiccups later on. Now, sometimes you think, and I hear this from a lot of sellers, well, I need to get X amount of dollars for my house so that I can get go ahead and buy the house that I want. Well, that's really poor strategy because you're looking at house A and that's your house, and the house B, the one that you want, and there could be in different locations. They could have different upgrades. All kinds of things affect that price. So the strategy of this is what I need to move is just not a good strategy. So your realtor is your best person to provide you with a realistic expectation of what homes are selling for and what you can get in your area. So that is the best thing that you can do is look at what homes are selling for in your area, basing it on the square footage, and that's pretty much where your numbers are going to be. And that's going to be a marketable house. The second thing I'm seeing is people don't want to leave. Their houses, it can be an emotional thing. I know it was for me when I moved after 32 years in the same house. It's an emotional thing. You're thinking to yourself, I raised my family here. I built the house myself. My pets are all here. It could be any number of things that makes it a difficult and emotional thing to sell that house. I mean, you designed the house, you raised the family there, and this was the house that maybe you thought you were going to stay in forever, but yet you're not. So moving is an emotional thing, and it's a difficult thing. So you want to talk to your realtor who can understand that and understand that this house brings you great joy. So what you want to do is work with a realtor who can help you find a house that will also bring you great joy. When you walk in, you feel that it's comfortable. You feel that it's home. It has the potential to make it wonderful and joyful. And they'll also help you find a buyer for your house who will appreciate some of the things, maybe some of the quirkiness even, that you have in your house, that this house your current house will bring the buyer great joy, and they'll want to raise their family in that house as well, and they look forward to raising their family there and adding a few little touches that makes it special. But leaving can be difficult. I do know that. I mean, I had a client once who, when I went to their home and they were talking about selling it, and this was in the winter, he kept talking about how in the spring he wanted to plant these plants and flowers and all these things that he wanted to do to the house in the spring. So that emotional connection was super tight. So that is something that you need to be aware of. And that's another concern is leaving. It's pricing the house, leaving the house. And the third one is security. Let's face it. Having a bunch of strangers walking through your house can be very unsettling. So you're going to have agents in there. You're going to have people in there. You're going to have an inspector in there, an appraiser in there. And what about COVID protocol? Whether we have COVID masking or not, people are touching your stuff. They're opening the refrigerator. They're opening your closets. They're flipping on light switches and such. So all of these things are going on. So you want to talk to your realtor and you want to ask them, first of all, who's going to be in here when someone's inspecting my home? Who has access to my house? Who has the key? And what about COVID protocol? I don't want people touching everything. So I always tell my sellers to leave all the lights on, and I tell the agent showing the house not to mess with the lights, to leave them alone. So you want to find out, and do you have hand sanitizer, gloves? What kind of protocol is your realtor going to put into place? What's the protocol going to be? Is there going to be sign there, sign in? What kind of lockbox is there? Because now we have a key. and you want to make sure that the place is locked up when you leave, when whoever's there leaves. So another thing that I like to bring up when I'm talking about security is, you have your jewelry somewhere or your valuables somewhere. What are you going to do with those? So people are fearful of those. That's a concern. One of the tips that I like to tell my customers is take the jewelry box or some valuables or whatever it is and put it in the trunk of your car when you're leaving the house for these open houses and whatnots. Take it with you. Now, maybe there's something huge that you can't take with you, but for the most part, you can put things in your trunk. So these are just a few of the concerns that people have with selling your house. Again, pricing it right, the emotional ties you have to that house, and the security. So talk to your realtor about your concerns. Let them know what your concerns are so that they can help you work through them and find the best solutions for you and your family. For more solutions or to have a consultation, you can find me at www.gozelda.com. I'm happy to answer your real estate questions. Oh, and by the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals.